Hello, everyone. This is Roz Henderson, and you are part of my tribe, sales resistant entrepreneurs who want a consistent income. Thank you for being here. And our job is to get you equipped, to share the best practices with you, and to shift your mindset so you are showing up confidently, more persuasive. And as a result, you're closing more sales one after another. All right, so we tend to think in sequential ways, one step after another. Okay, I need to lead generate, then I need to set that appointment, then I need to run that appointment, build rapport with the prospect, to understand what their needs are, to share the benefits, close, and objection handling. Absolutely. But do you know that you can close business up to 60% faster before you ask for the credit card, the check, or the cash? You can do that by learning how to ask better probing questions. How to ask better probing questions. Now, I want you to be able to practice this and get really good at this and have preset questions that you bring into your sales conversation. You may use them or you may come up with spontaneous questions, but we always go into a sales call prepared. The thing about probing questions is this, is that if we are able to really begin to understand how being stuck has affected every area of a prospect's life. Once we understand that, and once they see it in black and white, then that increases our chances of making a sale because we are the ones who are going to relieve them of their pain. So don't skip over or skim over this step. In fact, I want you to really become intentional about crafting the best questions that you can. Spend a little extra time in doing that. Your probing questions, again, can really tease out, can really draw out for a client who may have been or maybe semi aware of the losses and of the pain living with that problem has caused. But your job is to give them a fuller picture, to give them a deeper impact. So your questions are going to draw out how has living with this problem affected their self-esteem, their relationship with their significant other, parenting, their relationship to themselves, their physical self, their emotional self. How has that all been affected by living with this problem? The quality of life that you've envisioned for yourself, how is that in jeopardy now that you've been in this stuck place? And ladies and gentlemen, some people have been stuck for 5 months, 5 years, even 15. And they're coming now because usually they're shopping and they're looking for a way to get out of this misery. And your product or service can be the answer to that. So as you ask these questions, these probing questions, I want you to ask and then zip, I want you to listen. I want you to listen empathetically. I want you to put their shoes on your feet because everyone's pain is different. Is as unique as it is to them. And you want to be present. Can I tell you that that's going to stand out for a prospect? Because many prospects, and I know early on I was the same. At the start of a sales conversation, I'm going to bristle. I'm going to bristle a little bit because of past experiences with salespeople. I'm sure you'd raise your hand As I ask, have you ever experienced a salesperson who is driving, who is forceful, who is arm twisting, and wonder about their ethics, and they force us to buy something that we really don't even want? People have experienced that. That was the old sales model, and the sales model today, ladies and gentlemen, is different. The one I present is different. It's about relationship, integrity, and honesty. That's how I hope you'll sell too, because this is how we need to present ourselves. Now, let me give you an example of using probing questions. You know that I'm a sales trainer who works primarily with entrepreneurs who hate sales, but their business is in jeopardy. They're in a corner now. They have got to make a consistent income. So that person is my ideal prospect. And so when I'm running a sales call with this person, these are the kind of questions that I can ask. I can do a little small talk to understand who they are and what they do in their business. I might ask a question. So, what are you currently making a month, a year? What do you want to make? Identify the gap between those two figures. Maybe I might ask, how have you tried to close the gap? What's kind of work? Have you ever been professionally trained in sales before? If you forgo getting into my program and forgo getting trained in sales, I want you to predict in the future, a year from now, what do you think your business is going to look like? And really tease that out, have them paint a specific picture about what that's going to look like. If you hit your financial goals because you've been in this program and you've really mastered sales, tell me this. What will you be able to do for your family and for yourself that you're unable to do now? Tease that out. You want details about what that's going to look like. Right? On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being really motivated, how motivated are you to start soon? By when can you start? I may use these questions. I may use them all. I may use a few, but I already have questions at my disposal in my back pocket. And I can spontaneously ask questions given the circumstances. But remember, the whole idea is to craft those questions that are going to help you, number one, get that prospect in touch with how limited their lives are because of being stuck. We want them to really understand that. We really want them to understand that, yes, there is hope for the future. Paint your future as you desire. And the way to that future, the bridge to that future, is the sales program that I'm offering. And by the way, the Mega Money Sales Program, we really do spend time crafting and understanding how to put together uh, these very great questions, these deeper questions based on your industry and how to use them. All right. So, notice too that a lot of my questions focused on pain. Again, it's all about your industry, but you want to bring in some questions also. I also asked a question about how life would change. How would life change if you're making $5,000 a month? How's it going to change? That's a specific question. And that question is to really share how life can be once you fully utilize the tools that I'm going to hand you so that you are a super seller. What probing questions do is that it creates a tension in the sales call. We want that tension. That tension is stoking up the pain so that you can then position your product as the pain reliever. Okay? You want them to come to an answer at the end of the presentation, a yes or no. All right, so that's the first point. The second point, we're talking about how to close the sale up to 60% faster by number one, we talked about using probing questions, and secondly, preparation. Oh, I'm a great stickler about being prepared. I have been so shocked the ways in which entrepreneurs have piecemealed sales presentations. They've looked at a little YouTube, they read this book, they may have listened to a podcast. So they've come up with something of a ragtag way to approach and interact with prospects. I call it winging it. And when you wing it, you get wing it results. That means that you're dealing with an inconsistent income. So I'm all about preparation. That's why we're preparing our probing questions ahead of time. Okay. And I also want you, when possible, to understand a little bit about your client before you even enter a sales call with them. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. If you can look at their social media pages 5 to 10 minutes before you're on a sales call with a person, that will work. And what you're doing is you're trying to get familiar with this person. You're trying to get a feel for this person. You want to be able to specifically tie in the things that you learn through social media. You want to tie that in to your sales call. So you might learn some really good nuggets that this person sits on the board of a youth foundation. Hmm. You might learn that this person attended Loyola Marymount University. Oh, you attended Loyola. Hmm. This person has 2 kids, ages 2 and 7. Okay, note that. And of course, the step before entering into probing questions and understanding the need of a prospect is building rapport. You want to use this information to build this common ground because, as I said before, a lot of prospects, they enter a sales presentation and they have their arms crossed. They're a little resistant. They're looking at you a little bit sideways because of past experiences. But if you are asking questions that can melt that resistance, then you're able to share how you can transform their lives, and they're open to it. They're much more open to it. So let's go back to the sales example that I was using. I've learned that this person has 2 children, and perhaps I can be more specific when I say, how can life change for you once you get your sales skills down? How can life change for your 2 children? I'm sorry, the 2-year old's name is Tom. Okay. And your 7-year old? Okay, Bob. How can their lives change? How can Bob and Tom's life change as a result of getting really good at sales? Now you're having a consistent income. That specificity, that specificity is key because now you're making it even more personal. Again, when you're doing this, you're adding tension to the conversation, and it does motivate that prospect to make a buying decision. These are 2 very powerful ways to expedite a sales call, to close a sales call way before you ask for the order and then say, credit card, cash, check, right? You're going to show the prospect that you care. You care by helping them come into a full realization that, wow, this is costing me to live with this issue. And it's just going to get more complex, and it's just going to eat up my life even more, and maybe even impact my business in a negative way. I got to do something about this. When we do that, and when we also paint the picture of what life can look like once they've fully embraced our path for transformation, then you're going to find them running to you to close the sale. We also learn that preparation, preparation is the key to coming off more professional, persuasive, and powerful in a sales conversation. So if you're someone who's ready to own their financial future, and if you want to go from, oh my goodness, can I pay this light bill, to finally being able to enroll your child in that private school, if you're ready to master the sales system that can regularly produce 5 to 6 figures, then I want you to sign up for a discovery call with me today. And this discovery call is just worth it, because we're going to talk about where you're bottlenecked in the sales process. You'll get a solution, and you get to learn what it's like to work with me. Listen, I have 3 spots open for one-to-one training. Okay, so hop on Facebook, look for Rosalind Henderson, Rosalind Henderson, Henderson. Look for my name on Facebook. DM me and say, I am ready, Rosalind, for a discovery call, and let's do it. Until next time, peace and blessings. Bye bye for now.